Hello and welcome to this new module 4 on the series of English Essential. So in this module, we are going to study pronouns, preposition, postposition, and some indefinite words like some, any, something, etc. So let's get started with the first lesson. In the first lesson, we are going to study subject pronouns, object pronouns, the subject and the object. What is a subject or what is an object? So let's get started with personal pronouns, les pronoms personnels. Pronouns are used to replace nouns, and pronouns are usually shorter and quicker ways of referring to a noun to help make sentences less repetitive. Donc, les pronoms sont utilisés pour remplacer des noms et les pronoms sont souvent plus courts que les noms et ça permet d'éviter la répétition des noms dans une phrase. So let's get started with subject pronouns, les pronoms personnels sujets. Subject pronouns are used to replace a noun which is the subject of a verb. In other words, the person or thing that is doing the action in the sentence. Donc, les pronoms personnels sujets sont utilisés pour remplacer les sujets. What are subject pronouns? Quels sont les pronoms personnels sujets? Les pronoms personnels sujets sont, on a I qui veut dire je, you qui veut dire tu, he, il, she, elle, it, il ou elle, neutre, we, nous, you, vous, et they qui veut dire il ou elle au pluriel. So listen and repeat after me. I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. And at your right, you have pronom personnel complément, object pronouns, les pronoms personnels compléments à ta droite en même temps avec les pronoms personnels sujets. On va voir ça également. Pour les pronoms personnels compléments, on a me qui veut dire moi ou me, you qui veut dire toi ou te, him qui veut dire lui ou le, her qui veut dire la ou lui, it qui veut dire lui, le, la, us qui veut dire nous, you qui veut dire vous au pluriel, them qui veut dire eux, les ou leur. À la troisième personne du singulier, on a trois pronoms pour trois genres. Trois pronoms pour trois genres, c'est-à-dire it, he et puis she. Le genre masculin, le genre féminin et le genre neutre. Le pronom personnel complément est toujours placé après le verbe. Ça, il faut retenir pour de bon. On a dit pronom personnel complément, donc il se place toujours après le verbe. Un exemple, he invites us. Il nous invite. Invite us placé après le verbe. Next, let's see the use of the subject pronouns in a sentence. So you have the subject pronoun, and next you have some sentences that illustrate the use of the subject pronouns. So listen and repeat after me. Écoute et répète après moi. My name is Wilfried. I am from Burkina Faso. You are a nice guy. Ali likes sports, but he dislikes movies. Cecilia is a serious girl. She works hard. The book is not lost. It is on the table. Eve and I studied in the same school. We are friends. You are my friends. The children are happy. They are playing. My name is Wilfried. I am from Burkina Faso. You are a nice guy. Ali likes sport, but he dislikes movie. He, ça refer to Ali. She, ça refer to Cecilia. It, ça refer to the book. Eve and I, ça c'est we. Donc, chaque fois que tu inclus, tu vas utiliser le pronom nous. Eve and I, we. My friend and I, we. Next, translate the sentences in French. Donc, pour la prochaine activité, je veux que tu traduises ces phrases en français. Les deux premières phrases ont été traduites pour toi pour servir comme un exemple. Donc, à ton tour maintenant de traduire les autres phrases. Tu peux faire ça de façon orale si tu veux. Et quand tu auras fini, tu peux continuer avec it. It désigne choses et animaux et ces derniers sont parfois masculins ou féminins. Un exemple, he has a new shoot. He has a new shoot. He bought it in Burkina. He bought it in Burkina. It, ça réfère to a new shoot. Il a un nouveau costume. Il l'a acheté au Burkina. It peut également signifier ce. Un exemple, it is good. It is good qui veut dire c'est bon. It is a nice house. It is a nice house en français, ça veut dire c'est une belle maison. Encore, c'est une jolie maison. It signifie il dans it is 8 o'clock. Avec le temps, en utilisant it, pour le traduire en français, on utilise il. It is 8 o'clock. Il est 8 heures. It is 9 o'clock. Il est 9 heures. It précédé de at, from, in, of, to, etc. signifie i ou un. It précède des prépositions telles que at, from, in, of, to signifie i ou un. Un exemple, we think of it. We think of it. Nous y pensons. He is proud of it. He is proud of it. Il en est fier. It peut signifier le, la chose en question. Un exemple, I know it. I know it, qui veut dire en français, je le sais. I know it, je le sais. Next, object pronouns, the use of the object pronoun in some sentences. So again, here you have the subject pronoun again and the object pronoun. So you can take a closer look and then listen and repeat after me. And pay attention to the use of the object pronoun. Remember, object pronoun are always, the place of the object pronoun is always after the verb. It is after the verb, always. Listen and repeat after me. Tyler plays tennis with me. I like my name. My friends call me Willie. He loves you. You have a unique name. I want to ask you about your name. Julia loves Romeo. She loves him. Donc, him, ça refer to Romeo. He has a nickname. We call him Joy. Romeo loves Julia. He loves her. I called her yesterday. How was the book? I enjoyed it. The cake is delicious. I like it. We like him because he helps us. I consider you as my best friends. The children are bored. I want to tell them a story. They are wonderful kids. We love them. Next, after a verb or a preposition, we use an object pronoun. My mother calls my sister and me her little babies, not my sister and I. Après un verbe ou une préposition, on utilise le pronom personnel complément. My mother calls my sister and me. Et non, my mother called my sister and I. Next, in the subject position, we use a subject pronoun. My sister and I call our mother Mama, not my sister and me. Donc, dans la position du sujet, on utilise le pronom personnel sujet. My sister and I call our mother. My sister and I, not my sister and me. And next, in subject and object that includes you and another person, always put yourself last. Examples, Eve and I are old friends. My parents gave my brother and me a cake. Eve and I. C'est préférable de dire Eve and I que de dire I and Eve. C'est pas beau à entendre. I and Eve, non. Donc, si dans les sujets ou dans les objets, tu es inclus toi avec d'autres personnes, faut pas te mettre en première position, mais plutôt en dernière position. Eve and I are old friends. My parents gave my brother and me a cake. And next, let's do some exercise. For this exercise, fill in the blanks with a pronoun that matches the underlined word. Donc, complète ces phrases avec le pronom qui convient avec le mot souligné. La première, I want to know more about your name. Donc, on a I qui est souligné. Tell, le pronom personnel qui correspond avec I, c'est me. Tell me something about it. Et on a un verbe tell me. Donc, après le verbe, c'est le pronom personnel complément qu'on doit utiliser. Donc, tell me something about it. Je peux mettre la vidéo en pause et résoudre les autres exercices. And when you are done, you can move on to check your answers. Quand tu auras fini, tu peux continuer et vérifier tes réponses par là. Number 1, listen and repeat after me. I want to know more about your name. Tell me something about it. Number 2, I use my middle name when I sign my name, but I don't use it any other time. Number 3, you are a new student. I don't know you. Number 4, my English teacher is Michael. We call him Mike. Number 5, we have 2 nephews. They call us auntie and uncle. Number 6, I bought a new tennis racket. You can use it to play tennis with Tyler. Number 7, Isabel is not here. Can you call her? Donc, tu peux mettre la vidéo en pause et voir en même temps la traduction de ces différentes phrases en français. When you are done, we can move on. Do not confuse it, its and its. Donc, à ne pas confondre ces trois mots, it, its and its. Pour cela, je t'encourage à compléter ces phrases avec l'un de ces mots, it, its ou its. Mettre la vidéo en pause et fais ça rapidement. Et quand tu auras fini, continue pour vérifier tes réponses. On a What do you think of your name? Are you happy with it? It's a beautiful name. Donc, it avec apostrophe S, c'est la forme contractée de it is. Donc, après it is, il faut un complément. It is a beautiful name. Look at the list of popular names. Is your name on it? It refers to the list of popular names. The name William is very popular. It's on the list almost every year. I have a new book. Its title is How to Succeed in College. Donc, it's en un mot avec S à la fin, c'est l'adjectif possessif. Et après ce it's, on a besoin d'un nom. Its title. Next, the subject and the object. The subject comes before the verb. The object comes after the verb. The object is a person or a thing. Donc, le sujet, ça vient avant le verbe et le complément, ça vient après le verbe. Examples, Ulrich has a nickname. Ulrich is the subject, the verb is has, and the object is the nickname. Romeo loves Juliet. Romeo is the subject and the object is Juliet. Un object can follow a préposition, donc un complément peut suivre une préposition, peut venir après une préposition. Et un exemple, he always talk about his children. He, c'est le sujet, always talk about c'est la préposition, his children, c'est le complément, the object. An object can be a noun or a noun phrase or a pronoun. Example, I have a middle name. I rarely use it. He has two last names. He used both of them. So next, let's do some exercise. Read the text and identify the subject and the object. Donc, pour cet exercice, je t'encourage à lire le texte et identifie le sujet et le complément. Enjoy doing this exercise. Je vais mettre la vidéo en pause et faire l'exercice rapidement. And next, you can check your answers. Then, translate the text in French. Tu peux vérifier tes réponses maintenant et après traduire le texte en français. Les sujets, j'ai mis les sujets en rouge et les compléments, je les ai juste soulignés. Donc, tu peux vérifier tes réponses. Listen and repeat after me. Martha was a very unlucky woman. She had been a pupil at St. Monica's Missionary School. Most of her schoolmates of those days had married young teachers. Most of her schoolmates of those days had married young teachers. But Martha married a young carpenter. After years of marriage, her husband died from a disease and left her in poverty. She had to take care of her children. Thus, she spent all hours of the day on the farm and on market day in the markets. Martha's first daughter, Veronica, was 10 years old. She wasn't able to pay her school fees. So, she stayed home to look after her younger brothers and sisters. When you are done, congratulations for completing this part. Happy learning and see you later in another lesson.